welcome to Cigar Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe.
I'm Brad Jackson.
And I am smoking a Diamond Crown Classic, but it's kind of a special edition because to celebrate the 130th anniversary of J.C. Newman, they've released like a 130th anniversary humidor, and it comes stuffed with these Diamond Crown Classics, but it's a Bellicoso number 9, which was previously a kind of limited edition size that they've now made available. Before, you couldn't really get this unless you kind of got it at a special occasion or you know, down at like an exclusive thing from the shop. So now these are out in the world, and it has a Connecticut shade wrapper over Dominican binders and a filler selection of 5 different tobaccos from the Caribbean and Central America.
I've been in. I think Diamond Crown makes the Julius Caesar that I used to love so much. Like,
yeah, the Julius Caesar and the Black Diamond, like the original Diamond Crown, I've never really smoked because it looked lighter than what I normally smoke. So I've never actually tried it because I don't usually smoke something this color.
Well, I mean, you definitely look bougie with that, you know, gold banding and everything. You should definitely be smoking with your pinky out. Yes.
There we go. I should have worn my smoking jacket for this
should have
episode.
worn, you know. Especially if it would have matched the banding.
I mean, it is kind of chilly in here. It would have kept me warm. Maybe next episode I'll break out the smoking jacket. Be all fancy and shit.
Hey, you know, you got to know your audience.
Well, speaking of, obviously this is our Christmas episode, but there was really no good Christmas movies this year, so we didn't really have any. Like,
I'm wondering if maybe there was some stuff that just flew under the radar.
I think there was a few like more family orient, like traditional Christmas movies, but I didn't really see anything kind of in our vein of things we like. You know, there was no Fat Man or Violent Night this year, which I think we'll have for next year. But yeah, there wasn't any like traditional Christmassy things going on other than watching some Die Hard. So we're going to talk about aliens. We just talked about The Predator last week, or last episode. So now we're talking about the Alien TV series, Alien Earth.
Yeah, I don't really know what I expected going into it, but it was a little bit different than... But after watching Alien Earth, now I kind of understand, you know, a little bit of the direction of Predator and how that went, you know.
That's kind of why I missed this show when it was on, and we'll get into it here in the main segment. But after watching Predator Badlands, I was like, man, I kind of want something more from this universe. And it was like, oh yeah, I forgot that this thing came out a month ago. So I started watching it, and it was actually pretty good. So if you've got to fight a xenomorph, you should call in the Strike Force. StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use your promo code CigarNerds for 20% off your order. And we're going to be right back with some aliens and shit. And welcome back. Again.
Man, I wish we had been drinking for the night we are having to try to get this freaking episode recorded.
I haven't cut the camera, so there's documentation of this. Just save
like, it's gonna be some wonderful outtake footage.
Save that video. Maybe release it as a short. So yeah, we're talking about Alien Earth, and like I said, this is our third start. So let's see if we get through this. Yeah. So Alien Earth is a continuation of the Alien franchise. This time on Earth, if you didn't get that from the title.
But was it? It's not our Earth though. It's one of the other Earths. I felt like
it's.
But maybe it's
Earth.
So far in the future.
I think they said the date is like 2145 or something like that. Which I'm not sure where that kind of falls in the whole franchise. But yeah, this series introduced us to, because we're familiar with the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, who's been like the bigwig corporation in all the Alien movies. But it turns out they're not alone. There's like freaking 3 or 4 other companies. So there's like 5 big corporations that control the world.
Do you feel like that's already happening?
Yes. Eventually it's going to be the Amazon, Musk, Gates, Disney, whatever. Just chopping up the world. Everybody controlling their own.
Here's your
their own
bioengineered
section.
humans and cyborgs and others versus, and even in that, it's like, oh no, not are you just a synthetic or whatever, but now we got premium synthetic. We got
Discount synthetic. Yeah, so the show starts off with like a quote that like basically technology has been advanced because of man's desire for immortality, and the three solutions they've come up with so far are the synths, which we've seen in all the Alien movies, which are the full robots, and then there's the cyborgs that I don't think we've really seen them much, but those are just mechanically enhanced humans. And then now the new thing is hybrids, which are full synthetic bodies with a human consciousness downloaded into them. Kind of like freaking Ghost in the Shell, which we need to get that cyborg technology because I could use like some new knees.
No, I definitely feel you on that. I guess to completely sidebar, so I had to go in for an MRI on my knees. And all I could think about was the most recent Final Destination movie with the MRI machine.
Gets sucked in there. You're like, please, no metal. Please, no metal. I don't need a vending machine screw going through my head.
And it was weird. Like, instead of the traditional, like, hospital gown, no, it's like legit shorts, like, of the freaking hospital material. It's like, wow, times have certainly changed.
Yeah. No butt flaps?
Yeah. I mean, there might have still been some. I don't know. But I was like, okay, well, I got my poofy shorts on. I'm ready to rock.
Oh. But yeah, we're introduced to a new corporation, which we don't really get much information about the other corporations, but Prodigy, which sounds like a cell phone company.
I always just think of the industrial band. I am a fire starter.
Oh, shit, yeah, Prodigy. Or the Springfield Prodigy.
Yeah.
That's a gun.
I knew that with Springfield.
But yeah, Prodigy is the one developing the synths, which is... And shout out to the actors in these roles, because the thing with the hybrids is an adult brain is not flexible enough to go through the process so far, so they're having to use children, and they're terminally ill children. They're like, we're going to give them a second shot at life, but since once they're synthetic, they won't get any bigger. They go ahead and download them into adult bodies, because they're like, all right, the brain can age in to fit their body, but we can't have their body age, so we're gonna just go ahead and put them in like full-on adult bodies. So these actors that are playing the hybrids are having to act like 12-year-olds. And I'm like,
well, and that's gotta be crazy too. Like, you know, you just instantly get thrown into this adult body, and it's like, whoa, like,
I got boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's that scene where they got like a psychologist on staff to like help them with their transition, and like Wendy, because the guy running the island is obsessed with Peter Pan, so his because he's like the youngest trillionaire ever or whatever, and his private island's called Neverland, and he gives all the hybrids code names that are characters from Peter Pan. And like, so they're interviewing her, and he's like, well, how you feeling in the body? He's like, oh, it's awesome. I can jump really high and run really fast, but why do I have these things? They just keep like bouncing around while I'm trying to run. They're kind of annoying. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that would be a reaction if you went from being a child to having tits in like one day and just completely skipped the whole puberty process and learning how to
there's
manage your memories.
Hey, just grow into this. Like, nope, we're there already. So many questions.
Yeah. Hell, the one girl was like in a wheelchair too. It's like, did she have to like learn how to walk when she got her adult body, or did she just automatically like, I know how to work legs even though I've never used legs?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
they never tackled that question. Like,
you know, I'm sure you heard of like phantom limb syndrome and stuff like that. Like, I don't really know how that.
Yeah, I can understand taking someone who has been disabled that have,
And rehabilitating.
with modern technology, we have people that end up wearing prosthetics, or they're trying to, and that we've talked about cybernetic emplacement that basically takes the brain signals of like move the arm and the arm moves. But if you got someone who's kind of in a wheelchair from birth, how do they learn how to use legs now that they had a fully functional body?
And maybe,
or is that just kind of?
I think maybe they just didn't go into it. Like, I mean,
they're like, this is gonna be too complicated to figure out. This is.
Well, no, I mean, as long as
suspension of disbelief. Let's just
as long as the infrastructure and the veins and the nerves and whatever else are good to go, then I mean, you think about it, when you're a baby, it's like, yeah, you don't have the motor skills, but eventually you
the
develop
default programming
yes.
is already there. Like if you had legs, you would have learned how to use them. But so now, but yeah, there was no like physical training montage for the second generation of hybrid kids.
It's just like, no, that's just way too much. But I mean, I did like the whole thing of the kid mind being able to have enough imagination to be able to withstand that change, whereas us as adults, it's like, nope, we're already grumpy old men.
Yeah, because I mean, if you remember back to being a kid, it's like you're a lot more malleable,
and
you can kind of move on from things a lot easier than you can as an adult. You don't have as many preconceived notions and whatnot. And I like the aesthetic of the show, too, because Aliens was made back in the, 70s, early 80s, and they've done a good job, even with the other movie that came out last year, Alien Romulus, of making it look like 80s sci-fi. Even though, like, technology has progressed, we could do all this CGI. They try to do as much as they can practically, and it look like keep the same established aesthetic from.
Well, I think it did
the 80s
a great job visually because it wasn't just nonstop dark corridors, the nonstop horror element, which I really like in the Alien franchise and stuff, but it was cool actually being like, yeah, here's shit that you can actually look at under bright ass lights and stuff. They're not really masking anything. Like,
yeah, we've normally only seen the xenomorph in these like dark, sneaky areas, not getting really good like looks at him. Where this one, it's the first time we've seen him like in a lush green jungle environment. It's like, oh yeah, like it's some like Jurassic Park shit here.
Yeah, for sure. I absolutely got Jurassic Park vibes. Like I'm wondering at what point the xenomorph. I mean, she can already communicate with it. Like, that's Blackie instead of Blue. Like,
yeah.
It's just going to be...
Yeah, I don't think she's given him a name yet. And
a premium synthetic and her xenomorph.
Yeah. It's like her freaking attack dog is when we'll get to that point. But the show starts.
That's where it'll go, right?
Oh yeah, she's
like her and her xenomorph, and they take down the 5 corporations, and then we all sing "Kumbaya." And
she's got her freaking basically like walking around with her Belgian Malinois,
and then they go and find the predator,
or the predator shows up and is like,
"You guys are a dynamic duo." I brought my friends along too.
Yeah, either we get friendly predator with his cyborg buddy from Badlands, or we end up with like these hybrids are pretty badass. That'd be a good hunt. I've already killed one cyborg or synthetic. I need to go hunt these kids. Fuck these kids.
Oh man.
But yeah, the series starts with a Weyland-Yutani ship crashing into a Prodigy-controlled city. And the Prodigy, like, hey, let's test out our hybrids. I bet they got some cool technology or stuff on that Yutani ship. Let's go jack that shit and, try to make a deal or whatnot. But it also like how they the stuff from Weyland Yutani and that ship looked like OG like alien stuff, but the Prodigy place all looked like their technology looked different. It looked enough that you could like kind of differentiate between like the two companies. They all had like a different like aesthetic,
their own trademarks, aesthetics, and everything else, which I thought was kind of the whole Apple Microsoft thing from way back when. I mean, I guess
I'm a PC. I'm Apple. Weyland Yutani's PC and fucking Prodigy is Apple.
Maybe
they did at least incorporate a lot more like plant life into their designs. Where Yutani is like always very utilitarian, like fucking what was that? Desolate sci-fi. Where Prodigy's like a lot more Asian influence in the. They never say like what country Prodigy rules, but yeah, they're like a lot more kind of Asian styling on the Prodigy side,
which I'm okay with. And I mean, it kind of makes sense too, because I mean that's where so many of your micro processors and resistors and shit are made, and so I mean, I knowing what we know now about the world versus when this takes place, at least that hasn't changed much, I suppose. But speaking of the plant life and stuff, I mean, I did think that was a cool direction that this went, where we got more than just a xenomorph. Like,
yeah, they've definitely expanded that, because not only was the ship carrying a xenomorph and some eggs, it had several other creatures that aren't very good. We have kind of the first thing we see is these little tick fuckers that they can like basically, I mean, they'll like drain a whole body and then they also like at one point like they lay eggs in some dude, and it's like the aliens always have their acid blood, where this thing like basically you cut into one trying to remove it from, and it releases like a mustard gas or whatever, like, and then you got,
I mean, it was almost so like it was almost like the damn plants from Badlands.
Yeah.
Where they...
Well, there was that other one, too, that looked like a big pod, and then this, like, tentacle came out. And I'm like, I'm wondering if that's somehow related to the plant monster in Badlands, the one that had, like, the vines and tentacles and shit that was trying to eat him.
I mean, we're in the same universe, so, I mean...
And we already know Weyland Yutani, like, was on that planet harvesting shit. So this could have been part of...
They're like, yeah, we found this cool plant, and we decided to attach it to this bug, and now this bug does this thing.
So we had that weird plant thing. Then we had the fly, like, looked like a big-ass, like, fly, like a chihuahua-sized fly that would, like, spit acid and dissolve you, and then you had the eye, which that was the creepiest motherfucker of all. It's basically just an eyeball with like tentacle legs, so it kind of runs around like a fucking spider octopus thing, but then it jumps on you and like pops out one of your eyeballs and pops in, and then can like work you like a puppet. But it just has like one. It can't quite replicate a human eye, so it's a little bit bigger, so it looks weird as shit. And it's like, and that was the cool thing about the eye character. Like it's not just a creature. At one point, we figure out it has an intelligence. And you see it even, because we get an episode where it kind of, because the show starts with that ship crashing, and we get no
real backstory
explanation until later on. We flash back, and it shows what happens, and we'll get into that in a second. But at that point, you see the eyeball, like literally, he sees the ticks get out, and he's like tapping the glass, trying to signal to the scientists, like, hey, look behind you, the fucking creatures are getting out. And she's just like, yeah, whatever, and like sticks him back, up on a shelf. And then you see it like, later on, like trick one of the hybrids, and gets him caught in the fly cage and gets eaten. But it's like, all right, that's kind of a dick move. But at this point, you're
intelligence, like,
you see the intelligence, but then you also see him do things that are not necessarily bad. So it's like, all right, is this guy
Well, I mean,
benevolent intelligence, or is he gonna
maybe
try to take
it just
over?
goes to survival of the fittest, right? So if if you're locked in a jar of some kind,
Yeah,
and it's
Homeboy's
like,
trying to escape, but it's like he literally tried to warn that one scientist when he saw,
well,
and then
it's
later
like,
on,
hey, these people are too stupid to realize, when I'm trying to help. So yeah, they probably deserve to die.
yeah. But at first they stick him in a goat as they're experimenting on them, and the goat just stares at you the whole time. It's the creepiest.
Have you ever
fucking
been
thing.
around goats?
Yeah, that's pretty much what goats
That's
do.
pretty much what they do.
But it kind of freaked me out because I watched that and I was like, oh, that's like creepy as shit. And then the way the goat would just stand there and stare at you, I'm going like around like a prop, like I'm at work and I'm like kind of going around the property line and I'm like, just slam my flashlight at a fence. And there's a deer on the other side of the fence, and it's just staring straight at me.
You just see the glow of the eyes looking back at you.
Like, it doesn't even try to run. It's just It's just standing straight at me, like literally deer in the headlights. And I'm like, God damn, it better not be one of them eyeball aliens, because normally a deer like gets spooked and run off, but this one just stood there and like stared at me. I'm like, you better not be one of them freaking eyeball aliens. I'm like, as I'm like looking at him, like, is both your eyes the same size? All right, cool, we're good. Fuck off, deer.
But I mean, that was one thing that with Badlands and with Alien Earth, like, I love to see the expansion of things, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're getting, introduced to some different varieties. Although I'm a little bit concerned because of our joke earlier that we have spoke this into existence, and it's going to be like, the Freddy Jason franchise, where it's just going to turn into a comedy, and it's going to be like, oh man, all the days of horror are now done, and
Yeah, because we've already had like 2 Alien versus Predator movies, and
it's going to turn into, a buddy cop film.
yeah,
You
Predator
know,
shows up and it's like
something about the enemy of my enemy. So
yeah, it's like
xenomorphs and predators take on, Prodigy, Weyland Yutani, and these other places that will probably get elaborated more.
yeah, and our one survivor of the ship crash who's like trying to get their stolen specimens back from Prodigy is what was his name? Morrow, played by Babu Sise, and he's a cyborg. So man, he's got like freaking sword hand, like knives that come out of his hands and shit. But he's also in our realm. He packed some cigars on his trip to space. So he's like, and in fact, at one point he gets captured by Prodigy and they got him in a jail cell, and he's listening like, and the guy's like, how you liking your new digs? And he's like, this jail would be a lot nicer if y'all had some cohibas. And I'm like, damn right, homie. I mean, you're on an island. This looks kind of like, future Cuba. Bring me some cohibas, homie. I don't mind being in your jail, but don't bogart the smokes.
Yeah.
I mean, and he has a welder attachment in his cyborg hand too, so he doesn't even have to like worry about having a lighter. He could probably just pull out his little welder and light his cigars with them.
Yeah, being a cyborg and all, I'm sure he's got a way to create fire. Well, I mean, we know he does because he tried to seal the door.
Yeah, But to kind of skip ahead, when we get to
the time jumps on this are kind of weird.
Yeah, because we get to like episode 5, and it's a complete flashback to showing what happened on the ship and why it crashed. And I thought that was the most Alien episode, because I mean, it's episode length, it's almost like a feature length, but it's that whole like
tight corridors.
The thing that you were wanting to see. It goes back to that like survival horror, claustrophobic stuff from that we normally get out of an Alien franchise. So I'm like, episode 5 could have been a new Alien movie by itself. It just happened to be dropped into this whole series. So
but it was kind of cool, because back at the original, OG Alien and whatnot, like, it's already, a prime and shrewd hunter and, predator, where this having the more juvenile xenomorph, I thought was kind of interesting. Like,
Yes,
it's
never
not
see
quite, refined as far, but I mean, still does work. It's still a formidable threat. You can't downplay that, but it's like,
yeah, but we've never seen like we've always see it either the little snake head looking thing running like as soon as the chest burster pops out, and then usually like it's an hour later and it's fully grown. Where with this one being the kind of like a lab grown xenomorph, we get to see it in like it's kind of mid stage between
it was almost
chest
cute.
burster and full size, where it's like it's like a little puppy.
Yeah, it's like that puppy's got a lot of sharp teeth though.
But yeah, that's so we find out that the reason.
So now xenomorphs are cute,
yeah,
man.
There's gonna be plushies.
My intuition and my adult cynic brain tells me that this franchise is gonna get very cute.
We're gonna get some like
between
K-pop
Predator
Badlands,
yeah,
fucking toys and shit. His little pet monster in the versus the. Oh, that'd be an interesting fight because whatever Buddy is like basically immortal because as long as you don't cut its head off, he regrows body parts. Hell, even if you do cut its head off, the head will reattach to the body as long as you don't like fucking destroy the brain or however she end up killing that thing.
Wood chipper, Joe. Wood chipper. It's always a wood chipper.
So, Xenomorph versus that thing? That might be an interesting fight because I don't know a whole lot of damage. It might take a swarm of Xenomorphs to take down a fully grown Buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. We should start like a YouTube series where we learn to do animation and whatnot and be like, what would happen?
We go back to the old school...
like celebrity death.
Yes, that's what I was... like old school celebrity death match.
Oh, it was so bloody and gory. In all the best ways.
And we got another weird... But yeah, we get the whole kind of alien episode where it's... There's someone on this trying to sabotage the ship, and that's the reason why, unintentionally, his sabotage, he's trying to get the ship to land in a Prodigy territory. We find out that, like, Boy Cavalier has actually hired this dude to, like, bring him the ship. But the aliens get out, and his whole, like, I'm just going to land this ship, it's going to be cool, is like, nope, the aliens got out, and now, like, the ship's going to fucking crash.
Yeah, what goes up will come down.
He's like, I'm not going to be able to land the ship in your territory, but I'm definitely going to crash it in your territory.
And if I don't survive, well, probably going to be hard to get that payout.
And the other one that's kind of weird is Timothy Oliphant's character, who is like the head scientist of Prodigy, who is a full synth. But half the time I'm like, is he good or is he bad? Because like he literally like sees like the kids letting the alien out and one dude getting killed, and they're like, what's going on? He's like, oh, nothing, it's all good. And then he like catches the kids trying to like sneak because Morrow basically like wiretaps one of the hybrids and is like and convinces him to like tries to like befriend him at first and convince him into to give him he's like, I'm just trying to get my stuff back. And when that doesn't work, he
like,
tricks the kid. Yeah, tricks the kid into telling him who his family is, and he like holds them hostage. And he's like, well, if you're not going to steal me an alien, I need you to like unleash a face hugger on somebody and bring me that body. And Kirsch, who's Oliphant, catches him doing it. He's like, hey, go out this door. It's like closer to the beach this way, and just like lets him.
Yeah,
lets him
like
go.
He stops questioning. Like, what are you doing? Like, the most direct path is through the secure elevator and down to the beach.
Yeah, it's like it's he does these things to like help the people, but then when the Weyland-Yutani like SWAT team basically gets there and tries to raid the island, he kind of lures them into a trap. So I'm like, are you just playing like fucking 3D chess here? He's like, all right, I'm gonna help the kids because that's gonna lure in this guy that I want to fucking get my hands on. So it's like half the time, like, is he actually in control of Prodigy and just kind of manipulating?
Well, I mean,
the boy.
Oftentimes, the kid with all the money, like, I don't know.
Needs a some guidance, whether he wants it or not. But yeah, it's like it was one of those. Was like the way he just like let things go. That I'm like, I don't know if he's on their side or not.
Yeah.
He was a very like unpredictable character. Because then you got the other synth who's like his lawyer, Adam. Who's
But I
like
mean, that's one
straight
of the
dick.
things that you always kind of talk about liking, though, is, when you have somebody that's like, man, they're kind of a villain, but it's relatable. Like,
Because Morrow's doing some bad shit, but he's like, I spent 65 years of my life. My family died while I was on this mission. My mission is to get these aliens back to Weyland-Yutani. So, like, if I just let this go, I've wasted, like, 65 years of my life for nothing. So he's like, even though he's kind of the bad guy, he's not really that bad of a guy. Yeah.
well, I mean, and anybody that's in that position, right? Like, I mean, goes back to like the old mining town days and whatnot. It'd be like, oh yeah, I owe my soul to the company store, and it's like,
And he
man,
even tells,
think about all this money, and it's like, yeah, 65 years, I got nothing to return back to. Everybody's dead and gone.
Yeah. So I've got to complete my mission. And he even tells, like, the kid when he finally gets there and he's like, they get captured. He tells, like, hey, by the way, like, your family's fine. I didn't do anything to them. Like, they're free. You're good. I just had to use this pressure to convince you to do the things, but I didn't actually murk your family.
Yeah, this, like, some of that, like, I kind of get to, like, I think they did a good job. Anytime you've got humanoids or, sentient beings and that sort of thing, like, the goal is always, oh, human emotion is its weakness, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think they did a good job of actually retaining character without just being like, yeah, you're a fucking AI bot and nothing more. Like,
And then you got whatever Curly, who's, like, goes...
I was looking for Larry and Moe, but
Yeah, I think it was Curly. The one girl who gets attacked by the eyeball first is like, I have like, has like a full mental breakdown. Like, I'm pregnant now. Like, that's not possible. You're an android. Like, yeah, and like they eventually, like, she's gone so nutty that they just basically like, all right, we're gonna like erase the last 48 hours of memory and like start you over. And that's when Wendy finds out, like, oh, they can like manipulate our memories and shit. Like, this is Prodigy may not be the benevolent people we thought they were.
yeah. Well, I mean, I like that whole dialogue of, well, did you ask or did you just do? And it's like, well, your computer gets a virus. Do you just remove it, or do you ask your computer, hey, do you like having this virus?
Yeah. To them, she's realized that, like, at this point, that to them they're just products. Because her big thing too is she has a brother, and her whole family was told that she was dead, and she's been kind of, because she's got like super hacker powers apparently, because she's like the first model where she's like learned how to control the network. So she's been basically spying on her, keeping track of her brother via cameras. And she knows he's like part of because he's like a military medic, that he's part of the rescue crew at the ship crash. So she's like trying to save her brother as they're investigating the ship crash, and he ends up getting brought back to the Prodigy Island. But yeah, it's like, that little subplot. And then she, for some reason, like, she fights the first xenomorph that's on the ship before they birth the new xenomorph, and somehow she's like, because her hearing is so good, she's actually like, I can hear their communications, and he's like, well, you have a synthetic voice box, you can basically mimic any sound you want, can you like learn to speak their language? And she kind of like develops that fucking blue connection with the with the new xenomorph, because she is, and of course, like, xenomorph is like, they want to eat people, and it, as a animal, like, these aren't real people, so they're not a food source. So maybe I'm cool to talk to this chick, because she's not one of these flesh bags that I want to eat.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like, they're no threat to me. I'm no threat to them. We can be chill. I'll eat everybody else.
I mean,
and becomes that fucking attack dog.
Realistically, the entire Alien franchise. I mean, dude, we went and tried to remove them from their planet, and that. Great. Now I'm on the side of the xenomorph and being like, you know what? This was a damn, heist, and we tried to, freaking kidnap this thing. Hell yeah, I'm gonna fight.
Kind of like the eyeball. Like it seemed like it doesn't have bad intentions, but it's like, I'm a fucking prisoner against my will. Like, I'm gonna do what I can to escape. Whether it's tricking homeboy into getting eaten by the fly, or apparently you don't have to have a living host, because later on once he escapes, he crawls into the body of one of the scientists that got chest bursted and reanimates him. So it's like, and then he just kind of like fucks off. So we're gonna see where he ends up season 2, if like the fucking eyeball becomes like a bigger threat. Because even when we get that episode where they're on the ship and we see why it crashes, the eyeball takes over one of the crew, but then he tries to fight the xenomorph and kind of defends one of the crew members, and like he comes at her, but he's like almost like he's trying to communicate, and he hasn't really learned how to use
I've got
the human voice.
I don't have a voice.
Yeah, and she kind of like freaks out on him, but then you see her just like knocked out. He didn't really do anything to her, and when the xenomorph like breaks in, like he tries to fight it. So it's like, all right, he's intelligent, and he's also like kind of defending people. So it's like, is this guy going to be a hero in season 2, or is it going to be the next like bad guy? I don't know.
I'm gonna start a save the xenomorph campaign, because all this could have been avoided if not for greed.
Yep, goddamn Weyland Yutani. Always trying to build bioweapons and causing fuckery.
It's me. I'm fuckery.
That's what they named him. And I like when, kind of like every story of AI, eventually the
It becomes self-aware. It starts doing things that we didn't intend it to do.
Yeah, the children kind of finally realize, like, oh, they think they're products, but we're stronger, faster, better than them. Like, why are we taking orders from these like human douchebags? We are the next step in evolution, so let's do what we. And they get busted trying to escape, and they get them all, put them all in prison. But when they were trying to escape, they saw their graves of their human bodies. So they're like, the kids having basically like kids conversation. You know, they're like, we saw our bodies were dead, but I don't feel dead. Like, maybe we're ghosts. And when he comes up like, yeah, we should be ghosts. That's what a ghost do. They fucking haunt people. So she starts like hacking the computer and just like fucking with everybody on the island, trying to drive them crazy. And then eventually like freeze the aliens to start causing fuckery. And you know, and when like, you know, pompous boy comes in there and he's like, you know, too bad y'all are all in jail. And she's like, oh, by the way, door opens. And he's like, I'm here because I want to be here. And she's like, all right, now we would like to play hide and seek. Go, run. Just, that is the most like threatening, like where she's like, go on, run. As they're all like kind of advancing on them. And he's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Just major props to.
But yeah, her calling in the xenomorph as for backup and like him just like following her commands. She's like, nope, don't eat my brother. He's like, okay. He's like, you know, stay low and follow us and eat anybody who tries to stop us. All right, that I can do. As long as you let me kill somebody, I'm down. Let's do this.
Yeah. God, I'm still disappointed the xenomorphs are cute. It's gonna be plushies and all kinds of shit now.
What happened to the second one? Did they both? Did she have control of both of them at the end?
I don't remember. Like,
'cause I remember there was the first one, but then there was the one that got out of the body that eventually Kursk like captured when they like the Yutani soldiers come in and they're all surrounded and he's like, hey, I got that thing y'all were looking for in my little cage here. So I'm pretty sure it broke out, but I don't remember if it like started following her directions as well. Because I remember she definitely had the first one with her at the end. You know, once they've captured all the humans.
She should. I don't know. She's gonna be basically what is it, Michonne from Walking Dead with her, zombies. You're just gonna see xenomorphs on leashes, trotting around like little puppies.
And we haven't talked about it, but the music in this show was kind of, because like every episode like ended with like,
oh yeah, you had
modern
Smashing
rock
Pumpkins,
music.
you had Wherever I May Roam by Metallica.
It was so weird because you'd be like, all right, we're in the future, we're doing all this future shit, and at the end of it, it's like, fucking Metallica, hell yeah! It's like every episode ended with like a different song that was from like our age.
When metal was metal.
Metal.
I'm too nasally to try to do that.
I wonder if Steel Panther has survived into the future. Kind of reminded me of remember that last Star Trek movie where it's like we've got they start blasting Beastie Boys and they're like, oh, classical music.
Yes.
Like we're so old, like the shit from our youth are now classical.
Like, some of the classic rock stations are playing Ozzy, and I'm like, what is happening? I'm old.
Yep.
I don't know. But the soundtrack, to your point, was badass though, because anytime like stuff's futuristic, I'm expecting a lot more electronic style music, that sort of thing. So it was kind of nice.
I like when they're clearing the building from the crash. There's just the rich people having the fucking like steampunk looking party and shit. They're all like dressed in like Victorian stuff and like, we're having a party. Like, if there was an emergency, someone would have told us, fuck off. And then like alien comes in there and eats them all. It's like, yeah, that's what you get, assholes.
The eye tried to warn you. That's just it. Just the all-seeing eye. But then I did like some of the other stuff, the hear no, speak no evil, that sort of thing. Like, I don't know, almost trying to the whole morality complex thing was kind of interesting in this arc. Like, really, there was so much shit going on at any given moment that I was like, wait a minute, I gotta like. I missed whatever just happened in the last 2 minutes, like just trying to get my brain, reacclimated that, oh yeah, we're no longer, focusing on the xenomorphs. We're back over here now. Like it was almost one of those things where it's too smart for me. Like I just need, mindless dumb shit to just be like, I don't need to focus.
I need an hour-long YouTube recap.
The problem is so many of the recaps, like, be like, episode 1. It's like, your recap is longer than the fucking episode. Like,
dude, the one I watched was like 45 minutes, and it covered the entire series. But yeah, there was some I saw. There was like 2 hours. I'm like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah,
y'all need to summarize better.
I do like some of those because I'm like, man, there's probably so much shit that people listening to this episode are like, man, you guys just skim the surface of this and can really nerd out, and I'm like, I did good just watching the series and talking about it for this time period.
Yeah, what about the going back to the ship episode, like the grumpy ass like mechanic and his like idiot sidekick.
I mean, was he an idiot though? I mean, he at one point was rebuilding some shit, It wasn't just, I mean, he did really fuck up trying to get that wrench though. Like that's really what fucked him up. But
yeah, that and he like fucking starts choking on his food and drinks the tainted water that's full of like fucking whatever
the fucking parasites,
the tick babies, and then him just like puking up blood. Oh, Another thing, I like bad sci-fi always like repurposes like things from our world and just tries to make. I mean, Star Wars has been doing that for years. Like most of the Star Wars blasters are real world guns. And in this one, I'm like, I feel like they ran out of money at some point. Like we spent too much money on the aliens, so we're just not even going to like try to make these guns look sci-fi. So like Morrow's got probably a Keltec KSG, which is like their double barrel pump shotgun that shoots lightning bolts and like slime nets. It's like, let's throw some LEDs on this.
Well,
and
even
make it
the
look...
pistols just look like Glocks with
No, they're Maxim 9s, which was an integrally suppressed pistol. So it was basically, it took Glock mags, but it was basically had a built-in suppressor like in the pistol. It was one of those things kind of ahead of its time. It didn't get super popular. I don't even know if that company still exists, but yeah, those were all just Maxim 9s with a little bit of like LEDs thrown on to make them look futuristic.
Like, I remember years ago, there was a fucking smart slide for Glock and shit like that, where it would actually
gave you the Halo ammo countdown. Yeah, because they had some of the, especially when the Utani people showed up, that had like the more traditional alien plasma rifles we've seen. But yeah, the stuff on all the security guards from Prodigy's just rocking Maxim 9s, and then Homeboy's got his KSG with a little LED box on it to shoot lightning bolts. It's like we've made too many props. We can't make a future gun. Let's just use whatever we've got in the armory and tell them they're future guns. We'll throw some CGI lightning bolts or lasers at them to make them look like real future guns.
Make sure you use your electric charges.
Oh, yeah, we can't shoot the alien because it'll bleed and depressurize the ship. So we got to use your electric guns. But it was like, yeah, that KSG shotgun just cracked me up because I'm like, y'all are not even trying to make this thing look futuristic. It just looks like he has a standard KSG.
I don't know. To me,
but those Maxim do look pretty futuristic. If you
P90
don't know what they are,
looks futuristic to me. Like,
oh yeah,
the curved body and everything else, and like that was always one like. When I was a kid and I would think about weapons, they're like, yeah, it's going to look like that.
Well, like the original plasma rifles from the Alien franchise was basically a Ruger Mini 14 with a shotgun underneath that they just built like a chassis system around, but internally it's a Mini 14 and a 12 gauge.
But I don't know. Overall, not having any expectation, I was pleasantly surprised with this season. All in all, there were a few things that pacing. I was like, I wish we focused more on this in some areas, but like as far as just expanding the Alien universe and the sandbox now that we have to play in between this and Predator's Badlands, like. I'm gonna be like, I don't know what direction anything's going.
And this has always like been a threat that we had to deal with out in space, and now that it's on Earth, it could get bad quick if they cannot contain this to the island.
Isla Nublar. It's gonna go the route. It'll be like, oh well, we had the one island, but. Then we have these
the backup
islands.
We shipped off a couple of the eggs to like other islands. Oh, and then it kind of the way it ended too was like you see like basically all the Utani ships coming to invade the island, and the Lost Boys have Kirsch and the surviving humans like locked up in the jail, and she got her pet xenomorph dog there, and one of the kids I was like, so what are we gonna do now? She's like, and now we rule. So I'm like, now that we got a season 2, like they're about to be mid invasion, so I was like, all right, are we gonna kind of start next season off with the kids fighting off an invasion, or like, do they become the new bad guys? Because like, all right, now we've got to shut down these super powered children.
No, they're just going to try to shut down the corporate greed, and we're going to have a little kumbaya round circle with xenomorphs and everybody else, and there will be
fetch.
there'll be no no humans, because all humans are pieces of shit.
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna be it's a hybrid only island. Y'all gonna all fuck off, and we're gonna take this island, and we're just gonna chill here with our xenomorphs, and then it turns into Lord of the Flies as the children start fighting each other for control of the group.
That'll never happen. At some point, Predator will be like, "Ha! You're a piece of shit. I see it."
He shows up to hunt his children, or he shows up to like, "Hey, I heard you got this eyeball thing that can switch bodies. That sounds pretty cool. I'd like to hunt that." Won't make a very good trophy though, because I don't know if it has a skull or not. It's kind of squishy.
But I mean, that was one of the design things that I really liked about how they did this shit was, you see them dissecting so many of the creatures, and then it'd be like, oh yeah, you've got this big physical shell, but really you're just this little tiny fucking thing. It reminds me of like Men in Black, where a dude opens his face and it's like,
well, it's like, I think it's the first time we've seen like the alien embryo, because like they basically they cut open one of the eggs, because the eggs only react if there's a viable host around, so the synthetics can actually manipulate them without risk, and they pull out a face hugger, because that's what we've always seen. And as they're dissecting the face hugger, they find like basically the xenomorph embryo inside that. And since they don't, whatever, her brother gets shot at one point and they have to replace one of his lungs, and so they're like, the thing apparently doesn't even need like an entire body to grow in, it just needs like tissue. So they drop the little tadpole in a vat with homeboy's like lung they pulled out, and boom, we've got a xenomorph. We've never seen lab grown xenomorphs before.
Just because we could, nobody ever stopped to ask if we should.
Yeah, and they try to like sacrifice. He's like, I want to be able to have and his whole like fucking the boy is like, his whole thing is like, the reason I created these hybrids is because I want to build something that's smarter than me, because I'm tired of being the smartest man on the planet, and I actually want to have an interesting conversation. And then once he discovers that the eyeball is intelligent, he's like, I need to put you in like a body that I can actually talk with, because I don't speak goat. But I don't want to put you in one of my security guys, because just in case you're a bad dude, I don't want you to be stronger than me. So I need to find like a weak person that I can probably kick his ass if you try to fight me. So I'm going to lure like her dorky brother in here and try to like, put the eyeball in him, which doesn't work out.
I love the fact that it's like, yeah, I'm going to put you in this body because you won't be a threat. It's like, yeah, but I can still tap on the glass and scare the shit out of you. Like, I don't know. Like, it was pretty cool just seeing how each of the specimens kind of work together, Yeah,
he's like, I'm going to lure Isaac in and like freaking headbutt the glass so the door shuts behind him, and he's like, gets fucking fly juiced. And we finally see the pod thing eat somebody, so we're like, because that thing was just kind of just chilling through the whole episode, and it finally like, oh, yep, nope, that's a Venus flytrap thingy, because it finally eats one of the security guards.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like, as everything was playing out, I was like, I mean, obviously the xenomorph, with mobility and everything else is a big threat, but like just all the individual embryos working together, like, I was trying to analyze and be like, okay, if you stay away from the plant, that's not that big of a threat. The flies, like, they can
definitely get you.
Definitely get you. Like,
and even the little tick bastards are kind of smart too, because when we see the ship episode, it's able to unhook its cage and get out, and then it like immediately goes and like deposits its shoots its load in the girl's water, and then tries to crawl into her sandwich to ambush her, but they see its fat ass sticking out of the sandwich, and then they recapture it, but it's like, I've already juiced your water.
Yeah. That fate's been sealed. Damn. I always put water flavoring in my shit too.
You can start opening your water bottle, look for tadpoles before you drink it now.
Well, I thought that was a cool camera shot too, where you just see the fucking thermos, and of course it's got the clear slit, and you just see the shit like.
And she's like, and then they keep teasing us for a minute. She like goes to take a sip, like, "Hey, we need you in the office." Oh fuck! And like, go take a sip again, like you get like 3 like false hits before Homeboy finally chugs it. And he wouldn't even like, why is this water like chunky? Like, is this boba tea? Nope, it's alien chiz. You just like chug some alien chiz.
It'd be like that jellied sake.
Oh yeah, that shit was disgusting. Yeah, some people have a consistency thing. It's like that's one. It's like, yeah, that does not feel great going down the. I feel dirty drinking this.
It's because you are dirty.
It's like I just got a glass of melted gummy bears.
Do gummy bears melt?
If you apply enough heat. That's like, have you tried the nerd clusters?
Yes.
Yeah, that is like a fucking. It's basically like a gummy bear core. That same jelly consistency, rolled in nerds.
There's a candy company that I'm trying to order you some spicy Pop Rocks.
I haven't seen the spicy Pop Rock. I think they have a spicy gummy bear.
Which it's weird because it's not just like the little packet. Like this is like a fucking bar you just break a chunk off of.
Oh yeah, I've seen like the chocolate, spicy chocolate like that, where it's like
but it's still got
eat one square.
The Pop Rock flavor. But yeah, apparently that shit's really intense. Like I'd be like, Joe, you're doing this. I'm a pussy. I'm not.
That's like they have the death nut. It's like the world's hottest nut. Speaking of Christmas time, I've seen a bunch of those like whiskey advent calendars. I'm like, one of these years I'm going to have to order one of those. But it's like, there's so much bad AI now. I see those ads and I'm like, is this real or is this a fucking AI product? Because it was a cigar advent calendar, and they were like little cigars, but I couldn't tell if they were like, are those real cigars or are those cigar Christmas ornaments? It doesn't say enough in the frickin', because it's like the ad is like obvious, like AI generated. I'm like, if it's real cigars I can smoke, I would order that. But if it's just fucking cigar,
it's just
Christmas
literally
ornaments,
a sticker
I'm not down.
of a cigar.
So what do you think we get season 2 wise?
I don't really know. Since we already know there's 5 or 6 major corporations, I feel like season 2, one of those corporations comes into play, and
It may introduce another additional
but
factions.
At the same time, like, given the creatures and everything else, like, I don't really know where we end up with that yet. Like, does that become hey, we're in the same boat as these creatures that are being experimented on, because at the end of the day we're nothing but experiments ourselves.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing
like,
that they had.
Does it become an adventure on, well, we risked everything to get them to Earth, do we risk everything to try to get them back home?
And like they made a big point of like, the eyeball getting a body and wandering off. So I'm assuming the eyeball is going to have a bigger role in the next season, because they made that was like a big, like, the post credits like big end thing is fucking zombie eyeball dude wandering off in his corpse puppet. So I'm assuming he's the become bigger
guy.
Or he finally learns how to talk, and he's like tells us all this back shit of like the alien world and stuff that we've not like filled. He's like, yeah, man, I've been around the galaxy. Let me fill y'all in on all this like shit.
You're just sitting around a campfire and like, pull up a stool. I'm about to tell you a tale.
The xenomorphs started on this planet. We actually call them this. Those fly things. He actually like gives names to all these things, and we get a whole
And that's Harry and George over there, and this is Patrice and the goat body, and
my name is Eyeball Steve. You know, I come from the planet Balls.
I'm Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, damn it! I should have come up with that one. That one's good.
But I mean, that's one thing about this is there's so much intertwined. Like, I don't really see what direction we go. Like,
yeah, and I mean, and you know, Kirsch too is still kind of fucking weird. I mean, he finally gets that fight scene with with Morrow, and you know, takes him down, but Morrow fucks him up in the process. So I'm like, he was one of those that was like, he never could really figure out what his allegiance was. So I'm like, I'll get a little bit more story on him in the coming seasons. Well, as we kind of wrap this up, this here Diamond Crown's not bad. We'll say it's definitely lighter than what I normally smoke, so it's not super strong, but it's got a bit of an earthiness, like kind of little hints of nuts and spice. It's a cigar-ass cigar, but it's a good cigar, especially if you like something that's milder but has a lot of flavor to it. So yeah, if that's something that sounds like it's in your wheelhouse, go grab you one. Maybe even get one of those nice 130th anniversary humidors they come in, because that thing is like fucking huge.
I just want to get the other cigar you were telling me about that's big as shit.
Yeah, if
I feel like that could double as a cigar and a weapon.
Yeah, if you have a lot of time on your hands, there's a new cigar that has just recently come out. It comes in a 2-pack. It's a Asylum Megaliophobia, and there's 2 in a pack. It is a 134 ring gauge by 13-inch cigar. It's gigantic.
Does it come with its own cutter?
It does come with a lighter. You get 2 cigars and a lighter in a box, because it's probably going to take all your fluid to like light this giant bastard. According to the internet, it's the same equivalent of 15 Robusto size cigars. That's how much. So basically, you're smoking almost an entire box of cigars in one of these.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I could definitely. Yeah, I do one of my how long does it take to smoke videos, and like I might as well just do a live stream, because that's going to be like a fucking 8-9 hour smoke. Oh, but with that, we'll be right back with some science. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com and on the ESO Network, esonetwork.com. And don't forget, smoke them if you got them. Like, comment, and subscribe.